ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Race Spec Season 7 Pacific PS Open Tier 1. We are at round 5 and we are at Barcelona for the Spanish GP. I'm Scotty here once again, and joining me is Fordy. Fordy, how are you?
Not bad again, Scotty. Happy to be here. I love this sunny Spain by the look of it in Barcelona. Hopefully see some of these boys again put up a good show for us like they've been doing. Obviously coming from Miami back to a pretty classical track of Spain. Couple twists and turns in this track, a testing circuit for Formula One obviously, so yeah, hopefully these guys have some laps behind them already and can put on the best display they can for us.
Yeah, that's right. Nice and sunny. However, we do have the possible chance of rain in the race. So, nice and lovely now. But yeah, definitely be interesting to see what happens if we do get that little bit of mixed weather in the race. So, but pretty much what we're here for is 33 laps at Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. Around this 4.6 kilometre circuit. We'll see who is about to cross the line. That looks like a Ferrari. That is the Beast. Yeah, that's the Beast. So if you want to follow the Beast on for a lap, he's coming around the last corner now.
Yep. So he'll have his ERS up into hot lap now, and fuel all the way up into standard mix. DRS open for I think a kilometre on straight here in 8th gear, braking about 75 metres out from the corner, avoiding sausage curbs on the inside there and the one on the inside of turn 2. Now trying to keep it flat out here for this long right hander if you can. The corner eventually opens up and about again 70 or 60 metres you're braking for turn 4 now. Short shifting out of the corner to 4th gear now into 5th, braking at 50 metre board here. Quite a late braking zone, use the camber of the corner to help nip the front of the car in, and now to a tricky left right here. This the corner angles away a little bit here with a sausage curb on exit. He's done well to avoid it there. And try to be flat out here onto the back DRS straight, opening DRS now and into one of the new corner changes in the 2022 season. Brake at the 100 metre board, avoiding the sausage curbs on the inside, and trying to open up the steering as early as possible. Now into the final sector of the circuit now. Exiting the corner, up into 5th gear, dropping 1 gear, avoiding all the sausage curbs here in the final sector. They can throw the car off quite easily, and especially this last one out of the final corner. He's done quite well there, avoided more. It looks like a pretty tidy lap from the Beast there. Definitely more time in it, but as a banker, that's not bad. Only 2/10 behind his teammate.
Exactly. So currently 1-2 for the Ferrari boys, as we have Junkyard just coming across the line. 20.6, so he'll find a little bit of time in that. Just a lot of these guys probably just getting their feel for the track at the moment. Track would be relatively green. Combat just goes P1 by 100th.
Oh, and Prezzo nipping in between.
So if this is what the times are going to be like just this early on, going to be a fascinating end to this quali session. Top 3 cars only within just over 100th, and yeah, definitely close within the rest. Jed Lee, our super sub, is back. He's in the Aston Martin this time around, as Jays just pops into 17.6, goes 4/10 quicker. As we follow Jed Lee around the final corner now, and he sets a 17.7, so he's right on the board, up to P2 with his teammate. My name is Jeff, P3. So Aston looking like a team to beat possibly around here tonight.
Yeah, Spain again. It's one of those tracks where some people like it, some people don't. Obviously, it's quite difficult to get overtakes on this track, with the main straight kind of being your main chance for it, and especially in the wet now, with the possibility of rain, that kind of gets taken away a little bit. With no DRS, but yeah, a lot of mixed corners in the middle there, which some people don't like, and especially those sausage curbs. So yeah, I think it's clear to see that both Astons are turning up to this track, and same with Jays. He's 10th clear of the rest of the field at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're right on board with Deputy Dilldog. I'll just go through the results of last week because we did have a few reports from the stewards, and unfortunately, they pretty much all concerned Orphan Drop. He received a 5-second penalty and 1 licence point with a bit of an incident, so he's dropped from 6th to 9th in the sprint. And in the feature, how we had that Red Bull 1-2, unfortunately that hasn't happened again because he's received a 5 and 1 for that last few lap incident with Entei, with that slight contact which spun Entei around. So Orphan dropped from 2nd to 5th, so unfortunately he lost that podium. So Jay's moved up into 2nd, and our super sub Jedley, he managed to score himself another podium and moved himself up to 3rd. So unfortunate for Orphan, which he did drop out of that podium, but he did show really nice pace around Miami, so hopefully he can continue that this time around at Spain.
Yeah, as we just saw in AlphaTauri lose the car on exiting onto the secondary sector. I think it was Lil General who's now going in Sector 3. I can't tell if he's got wind damage yet, but I think he'll be coming in the pits regardless for a new set of tyres. Probably the trickiest corner on the circuit, that right-hander onto the back DRS straight. Yeah, you really have to manage the throttle and try not to go too wide because there's a gravel trap waiting for you on exit there. So if you're right on board Matty, you'll see what I'm talking about right now. The corner kind of again off camber, and yeah, you have no real runoff area there. If you make a mistake, you're pretty much straight in the gravel or the fence.
Yeah, very easy to, with a lot of these guys trying to carry as much speed as they can through that particular corner, and very easy to get it wrong, whether you lose it on the inside curb taking too much of it, or you just go too wide and yeah, as you said, go into either the gravel or you spin and hit the wall on the opposite side. As Matty will come through and start his, I believe, first flyer. As we watch that, quick look at the championship standings. Prezzo pretty much has won all 4 of our feature races so far. His only blemish was 4th in the sprint, but that's not too bad, and he's currently got a 57-point lead over our super sub Jedley. So Jedley's raced in all of our races so far and managed to score 2 feature race podiums. So Jedley, surely he'd be in line for a full-time seat if it does open up.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's been, as you're saying, really consistent with his results thus far. And I think, especially with Prezzo, I think we've mentioned it before, even though he might not be the quickest out there, his strategy calls and composure during the race is really what sets him apart from the rest of the field here at the moment. And he showed, real maturity at Miami, starting quite far back in the sprint race. I think it was about 8th or 9th. Worked his way up to about 4th, I think, by then, and then obviously winning the race, the feature race. It's something where he knew he didn't have to get the race won in lap 1, so that composure is kind of bringing him across the line at the moment.
Exactly, as we watch Matty come across the line, he sets in a nice time, P3 on a 17.8, yeah. Only a couple of tenths off pole at the moment, so he'll be fairly happy with that time as it is. And as we go down to just our new reserve, Extinct Body, currently on a lap, so he's our new reserve and filling in for one of the Haas's tonight. I believe that would be Metz, if I'm not mistaken. So we see him come across the line now, what can he do? 18.9, not too bad of a lap. That was his second lap on those softs, so they might have been just slowly dying off on his second run, but he'll come back in, put another set of soft tyres on, as I think that is one of the Ferraris which is in.
Groomy's on a decent lap at the moment, entering the middle sector. Onto the back DRS straight now. He's about 3 tenths up in his lap, which is going to look to put him around P2 if he can finish it off as it started. He's now 6 tenths up. He's gone purple through sector 2, so Grimmy looking on for a really good lap here. He's got to keep it tidy through the final sector, the most technical part of the circuit. Again, with those sausage curbs, you kind of got to absolutely nail them without actually hitting them too hard as he comes through the final chicane now. Pretty much perfect, I think. He's in all the exit curb there as well without using the sausage curb, and around the final corner opens DRS. He jumps up to P1 with a 17.3. It's a really impressive lap there from Grimmy. We've been missing this at the moment throughout this season, so maybe he's found his groove 5 rounds into the season.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, other than his podium that he got in Netherlands, yeah, he just hasn't quite had the results. I know he did qualify well last time, but just he was unlucky that he got caught up in a few instances that weren't necessarily his fault. So if you can keep that pole and sort of get away early, keep out of trouble, that'd be a really nice result from him. Jedley just about to start his lap. Just seeing who's on there, so be interesting to see a lot of these guys, either they're invalidating early or they're taking a second warm-up lap. So it might be that they've put their tyre pressures close to minimum and they just feel like, yeah, we'll go on a out lap, then another out lap, just to sort of get the tyre temps in the right window. Stobby does look like he is on a flyer, or a bit of a loose through that corner, turn 12. You can very easily lose it if you ride that curb a little bit too much. He will finish this lap, so we'll see how he goes. And he does improve by the very minimum that you can improve, 1/1000th of a second, so he'll stay 13th.
That mistake cost him a little bit there, I think.
Exactly. Jedley, if that's correct, he's nearly half a second up. So that would beat Grimmy if he can. So we'll follow
big lap.
He'll follow his last part of the lap. Come through this last chicane now. Getting a nice exit through there. Round the final corner, turn 16. DRS up to the line. And he does. He goes pole by 10th at 17.2. Really nice lap from Jedley and continuing his good form.
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off into his final run now as well with that. Bank laps, as we've been saying, is so important to get in early in the session, and then as the track ramps up later on, you can really push the car to its full potential. And I think we've been saying it previous weeks as well when it's been raining. Setups might be an interesting talking point as well with the potential for rain in the race. The likes of Jedley and maybe Grimmy sticking to a dry setup, whereas maybe Jays and Prezzo, those guys kind of opt in for maybe a wet setup for the race. So yeah, something to keep an eye out on the race pace. When the race begins.
Yeah, exactly. How are you, Boz, in the chat? My name is Jeff. He's gone up to 3rd. So how I was saying earlier, with the Astons doing well, they're improving and they're still right up there. So Jeff, he sort of struggled a little bit. Hasn't probably got the results he's wanted either. So it'd be nice to see him get a really nice position. His best currently 8th at Netherlands as well. So, but we quickly jump on the Jays because he's just about to cross the line. He does improve, but only to 3rd. So he's still got to try and find a 10.5 to get to Jedley.
Yeah, once again, it's close between those top couple guys, and especially around the 18 mark as well. There's a lot of cars only separated by a couple tenths there. So yeah, once again, showing that a small improvement can really jump you a couple of positions, which is going to be really important for the race start.
So just trying to see who we got out on another lap. I think a lot of these guys are in with about 3.5 minutes left, ready to put on their final soft tyres. I think Extinct Body. That looks like another slow outlap, so he'll begin his final flyer. Unless he decides to come in. No, this is going to be his final run. So we'll stay on board with Extinct Body, our new reserve, and we'll see how he goes. Currently 15th at the moment. He'd want to look for probably about nearly a second to challenge for that top 10, but we'll see how he goes. Doesn't have too much traffic in front of him.
Takes all of the track, yeah.
Nice line through there. We'll see how he takes turn 4 now. As we come, hopefully that car did get out of the way, which was good, as he comes through 7 and 8. Nice run through there. Didn't overly aggressively take those curbs.
Looks like a really tidy lap so far, but he's only just up on his time.
I've got 9
Oh no, he's up. He's just gone purple. I apologise for that. Yeah,
I've got 9 tenths, which will put him nearly an 18 flat, which will bump him right up into the 10.
Leaving it to the last minute, maybe. We'll have to see if he can snag pole late in the session. It puts a lot of pressure on the other guys on their final runs.
Coming across
up
the
to
line.
The line now. Oh, he's just off. 17.5 is a great effort though, considering he was high pressure lap from there down in 15th.
Exactly, second and a half.
Massive improvement.
Yeah, so very nice job for our new reserve up to P4, but we're going to have a lot of action these last 2 minutes with a lot of these guys coming out. Bompton, he comes across the line. He just manages to match his time, unfortunately. If he's got fuel, he can go again. He's got enough ERS, so he might probably made a bit of a mistake earlier on. Snickers Bud, he's up to 13th. Who we got that Aston Martin. My name is Jeff. Alright, so he is about to start his final flyer. So a lot of these guys, Matty, Team McLaren's, where are they? Grimmy's in, so he's done.
P2 at best for Grimmy's.
Yeah, Jeff's just had a spin, so unfortunately that's going to be his day done.
Bompton's invalidated as well, so he's done.
Prezzo P9, championship leader. He did this last week in Miami. He didn't quite get the quali that he wanted, but he is on his final flyer, so hopefully he doesn't get interrupted. As we've got, I think that might have been, yes, Dobby coming around the last corner now. What can he improve to? He improves to P14 just behind his teammate. We've got the Beast starting one, Entei. He's just starting his one as well. So we've got the two Alpha Tauris coming through the final sector. We'll watch Little General come across the line first. Currently 19th. He showed good speed last week in Miami, so he definitely want to get up the grid a little bit. And he goes top 10 on an 18 flat. Matty
jumps up one
6.
spot.
So nice job for the Aftari boys.
Definitely stays down the bottom.
Prezzo.
Next.
What can he do? Can he improve back? And he goes 4th. Nice recovery job to get back into that top 5. So exactly where he needs to be to hopefully avoid possible carnage that may happen. Orphan drops in. I did see a spinner. I think that's Jeff again, unfortunately.
Yeah, drives across the line now. He does improve to pole with a 17.1. Massive lap under pressure there, starting from the front row.
But I'm right on board with Jedley. It's telling me he's up, but is he up enough as he comes around the final corner? Get a bit of the toe, possibly, from the car behind. What can he do? Oh, he does improve, but not enough. About just under 400s behind. So very close at the top.
Jumped up to P7 in the end as well.
And that's it, Jeff will be in. So Jays gets his, I believe that might be his second or third pole, if I'm not mistaken. So
you got Belgium, Miami, I believe, and now Barcelona.
Yes. So yeah, nice job from Giles, but Jedley also right up there. He had the pace in Miami and he's continuing that pace and super sub. So he's Aston now. Oh, the Beast gets a 5. Oh, unfortunately, this is the bit of the game sort of playing mischief. Oh,
another one.
The Beast only 13th, but that's going to take him right to the back of the grid, which is really unfortunate. Because all cars have crossed the line, and he's just been disqualified, so he will be starting from the back, unfortunately.
Jeez,
so yeah, that's really rough.
Pretty harsh.
Yeah. especially when all cars had crossed the line. You only had Jeff in the pit lane. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe because he got disqualified super late, still showing him in 13th. So hopefully he can stay there. But going back to the top, Jays on a 17-1 gets pole by just under half a tenth from Jedley, who did a really good job. Grimmy up there in P3, just 2/10 behind. Prezzo, championship leader, is up there in the mix. Extinct Body, our new reserve. Very nice job, P5s. And then Jeff, Entei, Maddie, Combat Wombat, and Orphan Drop is our top 10. General, Banana, the Beast, Bompton, Stobby, Snickers Bud, Clarence, Junkyard, Deputy, and Goodwill are your bottom 10. So I'm excited for this race. A little bit of a mixed up grid. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this race plays out, especially if there's possible weather, and that does look fairly cloudy. So will we get rain sooner rather than later?
Yeah, maybe a dry start, then to wet. Be interesting if people start on softs or mediums or even hards, depending how late in the race it is. But yeah, top 14 within a secondary in qualifying. And yeah, once again, the likes of Prezzo quite far down. And there's no sprint race to help him out this time. He's only got the main race. So I think what's important for him is to try and make it through as many cars as he can before the rain period. And again, same thing could be said for the guys at the top to try and pull away as much as they can before the rain period. That's yeah, I think it'll be a massive talking point this race. How late the rain comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Gavin Arnold in the chat. Fingers crossed for no rain. Grimmy right up there in P3. Bozza, I am with GFORCE Foord on co-coms with me today. As we watch these guys head out on the formation lap. As far as I'm aware, it was only the Beast that sort of got stuck with those illegal pins. So unluckily for him, but at least he was the only one affected. So the rest of our grid will be sorted as I check the tyres. We have pretty much every single person on mediums except for two, which is Combat Wombat in 9th and Snickers Bud in 15th. So does that say anything about maybe mediums, maybe till the rain? Possibly, who knows? Or
I think so, yeah.
So
be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Strut around here, mediums about 14 laps, hards about 19 laps. So that's your tyre strat, depending on which way you want to go. Combat and Snickers, obviously thinking of the alternate hard medium. Softs, not necessarily the greatest tyre around here, unfortunately. So unless we do sort of get a similar situation like Miami last week, we probably won't see that tyre in play up the top of the field. But again, who knows with this possible weather. So as we scroll through the field, what are your thoughts on possible winner and podium around here? Is Giles sort of out in front and sort of going to lead away, or could we see Deadly or Grim, even Prezzo, come through?
I think I'm going to keep Mr. Consistent Jedley on for a podium again. I think he'll probably rack up either P2 or P3. I don't think he'll get the win today. I think Giles has obviously been looking good in the dry. See how that goes to the wet, and I think Prezzo might sneak in for a podium as well with Grimmy, maybe in P4. That's probably my prediction for the top 4, and I think Jeff might get top 5 as well.
As Extinct Body gets DQ'd from the formation lap, so he'll start a little bit further back from his group position, same as Snickers Bud, but their tyres should be fairly warm. As we now wait for the lights to come on. Yep, now we do. As we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are underway at Spain. Look like a fairly decent start from Giles. Jedley gets an alright start. Bit of chaos through the mid-pack. As we can try and swap to a different play. Prezzo's already moved up spot on Grimmy. Looked like a fairly I'd say clean start, except for a couple of incidents at the back with a Ferrari and a Mercedes. Joel's got the start that he wanted. Jedley in P2. Prezzo, Grimmy, our reserve of Extinct. He managed to keep his spot. Entei in P6, as we've got a little bit more carnies. That's Junkyard at the back. So as we go through the field now, already...
Oh, Entei having a spin as well, and he's taken an Aston Martin out along with him. He's thankfully ghosted. There's a lot of cars go through there, but Jeff just got caught up in the wrong time there. Entei having a really poor run over a sausage curb and just, lost the rear of the car, and unfortunately Jeff was in the middle of that. He's dropped back to P17 now. It's going to be tough to try regain those positions.
Yeah, exactly, and that sort of caused all sorts of mayhem in this middle pack, with the guys sort of sorting themselves after avoiding that, but super unlucky for Entei again, just not having the cleanest of races, just getting involved with instances, and just unlucky. We've lost the podium last week, and he's got a lot of work to do to try and fight back tonight.
Goodwill moving up 9 positions up into P10 now off the start, so that is probably one of the best first laps I think I've ever seen. For a driver to head from P19 up to P10 in one lap is unbelievable, especially avoiding damage and all that collisions that happened on lap 1 then. Yeah,
he was definitely one of the beneficiaries of cutting through that bit of chaos at turn 1, and then at the turn 7-8 chicane and turn 9, so he did a really nice job there. As we see Little General move up the inside of combat, so in these sort of maybe possibly colder conditions, combat's hard tyres just taking a little bit longer to warm up, so he's dropped 3 spots from his starting position. Snickers Bud sort of been able to maintain 14th, moved up a position, as we've got the Red Bull De Beast from the back of the grid after accidentally getting disqualified, unfairly I'd say, so he moves up more. Yellow flag in the bat, that's now cleared. Jay's was quickest, now Orphan Drop's moved up 4, so he's had a really nice start to this race.
Yeah, as we see, the field already forming into their own little packs. You got pretty much the top 5, top 4 Extincts trying to hold on to the back of it, and then you got Orphan and Maddie, and then a couple seconds back again you got the 2 Williams, who will try to probably work together, catch that front group, and then quite a big train from Will down. His deputy's had a spin.
Yeah, unfortunate for him as well. Yeah, so we're on with this top pack now, so top 7 cars, who's that around? Snickers Bud. Just as I was saying that he managed to hold position, he's had a bit of a spin. Entei, he's sort of clawing back. He hasn't lost too much time, and because he hasn't come in, I'd say he wouldn't have any damage. Maybe a little bit of front wing, but you definitely notice it around a track like this. You need as much downforce as you can. As we see Little General right on the back of Goodwill, trying to make some moves. DRS will be activated this lap. Oh, bit of a touch, and half spins him.
Oh,
sort of maintains.
And Combat Wombat, I think, is being caught in that as well. He kind of had nowhere to go in the Constantina effect. Just, he ran straight at the back of Little General. They might have wind damage, none that I can see from the offboard, but we'll have to wait and see, as Little General going for the move. Goes on the sausage curbs and gets half spun. Tapping the side of Goodwill's car. I'd say that's a racing incident there. Not much Goodwill could have done. I think it was just those sausage curbs on the inside of the corner just threw off Little General's car there.
Yeah, especially that turn 1 on the inside, you can definitely lose it through there. It did seem like Goodwill sort of gave him enough room, but we'll see if that gets reported later on. So Little General drops back down the field, so he's got a lot of work to claw his way back up. So Goodwill, with that battle with Little General, sort of got a bit of a train behind him. So Combat hopefully doesn't have much damage, and those hard tyres are now warmed up. We'll now be looking to take the opportunity to get past Goodwill and try and close in on those Williams's Goodwill runs a little bit wide, or a little bit of contact there again, as the teammate of Bompton makes a nice move. Very optimistic through there, as we got the Ferraris of DeBeast and Entei right behind there. So as we quickly go to the front, Orphandrop's made his move past Matty. So Orphan's moved up forward as we got a yellow flag. That's possibly Deputy again. Bompton's got past Goodwill now, so he'll try and get away from this train. So now it's DeBeast's turn.
These guys just losing each other a lot of time right now. There's Clarence has spun there in the second Mercedes. Had a spin on the exit of 3, but yeah, these guys costing each other a lot of time to the pack ahead of them, and yeah, it's really important that they probably focus on those guys ahead. And now pretty much need to safety car if they want a chance of catching those guys.
Exactly, in combat's got back past DeBeast, so they're sort of fighting among themselves, which is sort of letting Goodwill off the hook a little bit, as all combat's sort of gone for the move. Gets it done, yes he does, and I believe that was a switch for the Ferraris as well, so Entei gets ahead of his teammate, and now Entei right on the back of Goodwill. So, there's a yellow flag.
And Orphandrop spun on the exit of the final corner. That's a cost him second move. It was just hanging onto the back of his synced body there. Of Matty, sorry. In what was P7. He's only dropped a couple of places to P9 with no wind damage though. And he's in that massive gap I was talking about previously now, so he hasn't, lost too much there. It's just a lot of ground really, not too many positions.
Exactly, as Entei does get past Goodwill, so that's another position up for him. So Goodwill just sort of falling back down the field a little bit, sort of qualified 19th, so his pace might not be there to the guys racing behind him, but he's done a good job holding them up, keeping to himself. But DeBeast possibly looking around the outside. Yeah, he does. I think Goodwill sort of let that go. Sort of wants to refocus back on his race. So this midfield battle sort of spread out a little bit. The two Alfa Romeos will now try and catch Orphandrop. Orphan, with that spin, he was close to Matty, so whether there was anything there in terms of maybe like contact, he looks alright. No damage from what I can see, but we'll go back to this front pack because we haven't seen them for a little bit. Top 5 still within DRS of each other. Extinct Body doing a really nice job holding on to the back of Grimmy. I think he's just fairly happy to sit there.
Something worth noting as well was on lap 4, I believe it was, Jedley actually lost DRS to Jays, but he's reeled it back in. So very important, obviously, job there for Jedley to hold on to that DRS, and he actually hasn't used too much battery in doing so as well. So all of them sitting pretty good on battery except Grimmy, who's lowest on 30-odd%, and struggling by the looks of it to hang on to these guys.
Yeah, looking like Grimmy doesn't quite have the pace of the top 3 and is having to use a little bit more. Extinct Body just sort of happy to stay behind, save a little bit more ERS, and then when Grimmy does lose that DRS, if he does lose it, obviously, maybe can capitalise. But a lot of these guys may think, maybe Grimmy, maybe Extinct may think of possibly the undercut. Undercut could work very nicely around here. It's just a matter of how well you can warm up your hard tyres, and how quickly you can.
Exactly right. And yeah, these guys are pulling about a second lap to Matty, the car behind, which is, it shows the power of DRS around here and how important it is to hang on to it.
Yeah, especially with a lot of these cars running a lot of downforce around here, having DRS, even if you're just sitting in a train, with the 2 areas, you can save fuel, you can save ARS, and it's just the time gain you can get. So that little battle that Orphan and Matty had, even if they were sort of lost a little bit of time battling, but would have been a bit of DRS helpful. So, but then again, Banana and Stobby, they're sort of working together, but even then they're sort of not closing in on Matty at the moment. So Matty's holding his own out in a little bit of nowhere. Obviously anything can still happen with only reached lap 8. Grimmy's sort of now probably got a little bit of a hurry on because Extinct Body's just lost DRS, unfortunately. So you'll have to burn a little bit to just try and stay within the top 4.
Yeah, and if he's close enough, he might actually think of a move down in turn 1. He's been close to Prezzo before, and I think Grimmy's running lower wins than Prezzo by the look of it. From previous encounters down in turn 1, he does gain a little bit by the time they get to 100 meter board, but again, it's crucial to get a good exit out here. I assume he'll use some of his battery, which he is doing now. And you can see he's closing into Prezzo. Prezzo also using some of his battery now, though, so they kind of even out at the top end, and Grimmy's run out of battery, so I think Prezzo just pulls away right at the end there and holds on to it. So with a bit more battery, I think Grimmy can probably get that move done, but yeah, he's got to start saving a little bit. I think he's already down below the 10% mark, whereas all the other guys are above 50%.
Exactly, and I was on board with Deadly coming down that main straight. Didn't turn on ERS at all, so he's very happy to just to sit behind. Not to burn his tyres, as we have a Ferrari spun at turn 2, coming out of turn 2, and that's the Beast, unfortunately. So he'll drop back down the field. So both Ferraris we've seen have a few spins this race so far, so it hasn't been the best race for them. They had great pace last week, but didn't capitalise on it either. So we'll see what the Beast can do. Hopefully that he hasn't got any damage, and that was just a spin. Entei has recovered a little bit. He's in the train with the Combat and Bompton as the two Alphas go into turn 10 side by side, and I think that's Combat takes the lead from that little pack, and Entei ready to capitalise. He's right on the back of Bompton. So
I think we probably will see a move down on this DRS straight, I think, and maybe Banana might also go for a move in the Williams as well. No, he backs out of it, so Williams working together, try to pull away from Orphan Drop here. But back to the Alphas, and it looks like Bompton is going to try get a move here. No, not quite. Something worth noting is that Combat is one of the drivers on the hard tyre as well, so his tyres will start coming into play. And it actually looks like the circuit's getting a bit more sunny as well now, so maybe this scare of rain has actually drifted away a little bit.
Exactly, still a bit of clouds in the far distance, so chance it may come back, but yeah, you're right, Combat's probably pulling away a little bit. So Strat was mediums for 14 laps, so yeah, the mediums are probably getting towards the end of their life now. So Combat will try and pull away. Yeah, with this battle with the Williams, Stobby did take the lead for a couple of laps. That's Clarence, unfortunately, around at turn 3. So he's got going again. But yeah, these Williams just working together. Orphans just dropped off the back of that a little bit.
It was, sorry. I saw McLaren going slow, but it was the laps car of Deputy. But I think Grimmy might try to get a move done. No, he's still a bit too far back, all of them are. So again, all just following each other, all working together for these first 7 laps of the race, first third of the race. I think once the pit stop phase comes into effect, so within the next 3 laps, as you're saying, we will start seeing a bit of a mix-up for sure.
Yeah, and Extinct Bodies has been able to close back in on that top 4 pack, so he hasn't dropped off yet, and with that pack, Matty is now 6 seconds. We did see the gap at 3.8, so top 5 definitely showing their pace.
Yeah, slowly pulling that gap, and by the look of it,
flag. We've got General and Junkyard dog around, so possible was there contact between those two coming around turn 3 on the exit of turn 2. So,
and we're in a battle pack together, so yeah, there is a likely chance.
It's back into this little battle group combat. Bompton, Entei staying as is. Entei thinking about a possible lineup of a move at turn 1. Deputy gets 3 seconds. Lots of different battle packs. Matty is the first one to blink, so he's getting a little bit of an undercut. So what can that do? Has he found a...
Crucial for him to come out in clear air as well with this.
Yeah,
Got to be careful of that Mercedes at the back there of Clarence.
yeah, exactly. It looks like he may come out possibly just ahead.
It's going to be tight. He's probably hasn't helped himself as best he could. Maybe another lap or so might have helped a little bit more, but he's going to be on cold tyres. Going to be important not to lose position to Snickers right behind him as well. But yeah, these tyres could definitely come into effect quite quickly for him, and yeah, he might catch up to the guys ahead of him if they start battling for sure.
Yeah, he's sort of... This will work out a little bit because he's sort of got enough of a gap to sort of chase down Jeff, and you'd think Jeff would be in off those mediums in a couple of laps' time. As as Bompton's had a bit of a spin through the 7-8 section. So that allows Entei through. I know they were fairly close together, so there's definitely some tight battle packs as we look.
And he's got damage as well. Bompton's got damage there.
Yeah, he's probably touched the inside of the wall. As Orphan drops, he's gotten past Banana. So he's split the Williams at the moment.
Jedley going for a move, up and looking at the top guys again, going to the outside into turn 1, side by side between the Alpine and Aston Martin, and there's a little bit of contact, a little bit of smoke came off the back of Jai's wheel there, but Jai's holds it around the outside, on the inside rather, keeps the front of the lap, so clear to see Jedley's trying to get a wriggle on here, around this pit stop window. He wants to be in front, leading into the box.
Yep, and then let's not forget Prezzo in third, just sitting, waiting for any sort of mistake. He was probably a little bit too far back to sort of capitalise through 1 and 2, but Jedley, I think, now wants to get a bit of a move on. Both of them have still got a fair bit of ERS. Jays has used a little bit more now, so what will these guys do? If you're Jedley, do you think about the undercut?
I think one of them have to. For sure. In the meantime, Nana has made a mistake and dropped into P8 with Orphan up in P7.
Sorry, Extinct Body's had a spin. So he's still in P5, but that bit of that margin that he had, probably to Maddie, is now gone. So
and
if Extinct's in, and that's Deputy having a spin in front of him. So a lot of action at the moment, and you got the leader in. So he's sort of trying to protect his lead, so he's going to go for the undercut. He's
trying to go for a move. Grimmy down the inside on turn 1 and Prezzo, they're side by side.
Contact!
Grimmy's off. Again, another half spin there through turn 1. It's such a tight sequence of corners between turn 1 and 2 there. And I'm sure that one will be going to the steward's room after the race, between those two. Prezzo maybe looking at a time penalty there, or a racing incident. We'll leave that up to stewards to decide, yeah. Very tight between the McLaren and Red Bull.
Yeah, super unlucky there. Grimmy had a bit more downforce compared to Prezzo, so looks like he got the run through, but yes, going side by side into turn 1 just hasn't worked for Grimmy, so he's going to be another one that loses out. So Maddie, he may actually capitalise on a few of these spins and pop out possibly P4. We'll wait and see as Jays has come out. He's found it actually a decent amount of fresh air, 2.5 seconds to Entei, and Entei's got a little bit of pace, so has worked out not too bad as we've got Deputy again spun around. We'll go back up to this, so Grimmy's now in this battle for 4th with Stobby and Orphan. As Jedley sets the fastest lap.
Yeah, it stays out, hasn't pitted yet, so he's still finding pace on these mediums. Obviously probably used a bit of battery that lap, but Prezzo's in, Jedley's in fresh air. He's going to go for a major overcut here on the likes of Jays, but we'll see where Prezzo comes out in the likes of where Jays is at as well.
Which may work. Having a bit of extra life on those hards can do it, and if he can burn a lot of his ERS, which he is doing, will burn a lot. Or as Jays has just come out in front, but he'll be able to extend that lead with Prezzo and the guys behind on those cold hards. As we look at Maddie. Maddie has done exactly... Sorry, Maddie's done exactly what I said, and he's jumped Extinct Body and he's jumped Grimmy. So, sort of been out by himself. Those little spins that the other guys have had, he's moved him up into a nice position with still a few guys left to pit.
Yeah, everyone's getting a bit squabbly there. And yeah, as we were saying, some positions changed, and great strategy call by Matty, bringing the car in early and jumping off a few places. But yeah, I think Jace has a lot to thank there with Grimmy. Obviously, Grimmy and Prezzo having that little incident probably pushed Prezzo back a little bit there and slowed him down, but Jedley's now in the pits as well.
Yeah, we'll see Orphan drop in behind him as well. We do. So Combat will take the lead of this race, I'd imagine, staying in on those hards. But what can Jedley do? Where has this fed him out? As we'll hop onto Giles. We'll see him come out. It's going to be close. Jedley's done it. He's got ahead, but remember, he's got to warm up these hards. So,
watch out for the retired car. You're going to have to go around it. Oh, that was close. It stopped in the middle of the track. As Prezzo's had to go around as well. Jeez, that was tight between all those cars.
As you can see, Jedley desperately trying to warm up those hards. Giles has closed right up, and will he think about a move? No, he'll stay behind. Jedley's got to do a big job to sort of keep him behind. They've both got the exact same amount of ERS, so he's going to have to burn a little bit to sort of cover for this first lap. Still trying to warm up those tyres, get a bit of heat into them. Was Jay's very close, both burning ERS. As Giles goes around the outside, still manages to hang it there. Oh, he thought about it, but backs out of it a little bit. Definitely thought about hanging it around there, but if you touch that inside curb, easily to have a half spin. So he's going to pull behind, and we'll see what he can do down this main straight.
Yeah, nice racing here between the top two, and I think this could last other than the race as well. I wouldn't be surprised. These two pretty much been matching each other for the first stint, and with the likes of the guys hanging on as well, but they've dropped off now. Prezzo now 2 seconds behind. He's got a big job in front of him to try to catch these boys again.
Yeah, I'm now thinking that Prezzo, because he doesn't have DRS, is this now sort of showing his possible little bit of lack of speed compared to the top two. Whereas the top two, who's that?
Jeff spun.
So he hasn't made his pit stop yet, so those mediums will be very, very worn. So he's trying maybe the medium soft, but I don't know how far he'd be able to take those mediums. Unless he's doing a super overcut, but that's going to hurt him big time. He's going to drop down the field as we see 2 of the cars down the field making their pit stops. But we'll go back up to the battle for the effective race lead, and they are closing in on Combat. So Combat will get into this a little bit now. I'd imagine Combat will probably be within the next 3 to 4 laps, but these guys will close on him, I reckon, with these fresh hards.
Yeah, if Jedley can manage to overtake Combat and put that car in between himself and Jais, he can try to run away with this race, and Jais has to be aware of this because having that car in between can really halt your race a little bit.
In saying that, Jedley got that gap out to 8/10 before the final corner, so he's definitely pushing, so he's definitely got the pace. So we'll see what he can do. He will get a bit of that dirty air now from the Alfa Romeo in front, so hopefully it doesn't affect him too badly. As My Name is Jeff is finally in, so he'll be in on those hards, but unfortunately with that spin he would have lost a fair bit of time. Jedley now within 7/10 of Combat, so we'll definitely be trying to look to get this move done.
Does he get it before the main DRS straight? I think he'll probably wait for the main DRS straight, but that also does give Jais an opportunity as well to try overtake him in one swoop as well. It's going to be interesting how Jedley plays this.
Yeah, I think he'll wait to the main straight, probably better because both him and Jays will have DRS, so he won't be looking for a move. As soon as that orphan drop is around.
Might be. Safety car it is.
It is, we have a safety car. No, we have a full safety car. We'll have a full safety car. Safety car's coming out, so what do these guys do? This helps Combat massively. He'll be able to take those mediums home now, and he would have closed the gap as well. So top 2 stay out. I'd imagine a lot of the guys that have just pitted for hards, they'll stay out. This helps Snickers Bud as well. He'll jump onto those fresh mediums. But yeah, orphan drop, super unlucky. As we said earlier on in quali, that's the one spot. Oh, as Jeff's gone off the circuit, so he's rejoined just in front of Little General. So where does Combat come out? Combat's come out 9th. This is actually a really nice spot for him on those fresh mediums. So look for him to be aggressive on this restart.
Yeah, this also saved Prezzo's race as well. He was, however, maintaining pace for the guys in front, but it was always going to be a pretty tough job to try to catch them. But now he's yeah, right back into this race, and same with the likes of Matty, Extinct, see if the two Williams this time can stick with the top guys, and Grimmy's got a big task as well to try overtake some of these drivers. Same with Combat, obviously.
Yeah, these safety cars helped the likes of Extinct and Grimmy that had spins just before they came into pit. So, and Ente as well, that lap 1 collision, he's managed to come back out into 10th. So, definitely all to play for this second half of the race. But yeah, I'd definitely be looking out for Combat with those fresh mediums. And with the lesser fuel on board, they shouldn't wear as much. So, they should feel a little bit better. He'll be possibly struggling towards the end. Yeah, Combat, as we saw, did a nice couple of nice moves earlier on, having a nice battle with his teammate and the Ferrari boys. So what can he do? But currently under safety car, about to cross the line to start lap 20. Got Jedley in the lead. Did an overcut that did work and it was managed and did able to hold the position from Jace. Our pole position man, what can he do? Can he fight back? Prezzo, he's been there or thereabouts, so does he have the raw speed to get past these two? Matty, as we said earlier, just sitting in a little bit of no man's land at that point, early part of the race, but he's managed to keep it clean, jump a few cars with his undercut, and now he's P4, so he's right in a shout with a podium. Extinct Body, our new reserve, is in a shout, and then the two Williams, they've been working together, Stubby and Banana. So they were sort of working together, but yeah, that's brought them right back into it.
Yeah, I assume we might have one more lap of safety car depending on how quickly these Mercedes guys can catch up. But Mercedes boys are both on soft tyres as well, so interesting strategy choice there. Trying to pull these tyres to the end. 13 laps on softs is a long way though.
I don't see that happening. Yeah, you saw the mediums go 14 laps, but I reckon the guys were struggling on them. So yeah, soft tyres, maybe 8 laps at the very maximum. But yeah, I'd probably want to come back in and put on another set of either the hard tyres or the medium tyres. Yeah, because I don't think those softs will get to the end unless they're going to do another pit stop towards the end. But tyre graphics up on the screen now, and as you can see, Combat and Snickers Bud, only 2 on the medium tyres, so they'll have a bit more grip, and Jedley with that 2-lap overcut, he will definitely have better tyres at the end, so this is working out very nicely for Jedley. Can he hold the position?
Yeah, it's going to be a definitely battles to end with these top 3. They have looked probably the quickest out the lot this race, especially the top 2, Jelly and Jays. But yeah, it'll be 13 laps to go as safety car across the line. We'll be restarting with 12 laps left in this race. It'll pretty much be a 12-lap sprint to the end, I'd say.
So
as the base is in.
Yeah, so looking at...
Oh no, sorry.
No, it's the two Mercedes, so Mercedes. They're getting off those... So I'd say getting off those soft tyres. Goodwill's put on another set of softs.
Another set.
What does Clarence do?
Another set of softs as well.
So new soft tyres, 12 laps to the end. Oh, it's definitely going to be very tight. I sort of don't see how it's going to be possible, but you never know. The Beast, he's been on his hard for 11 laps. Unfortunately, he had that incident and couldn't go on to his set of mediums because they had a bit too much wear, so he may be one of the guys that may look for last few laps to maybe box, put on a set of softs maybe for fastest lap. have to see. But as we go back to positions change, Stobby up 8 positions, our biggest mover by far. Same as Banana up 5. So both Williams boys managed to do a nice clean first half of this race and in a nice position. Matty, as I've said earlier, up 4 positions as we do see the safety car in this lap.
Another interesting thing is Will the only one with a penalty, so everyone's kept it pretty tidy so far. It is tough to get penalties with all the sausage curves pretty much taking you out before you can get one. But yeah, it's very interesting as Jedley's 2 seconds in front of Jay's right now. There we go, Jay's caught back up. But yeah, hand it over to you for safety car restart.
Yeah, thank you. As when does Jedley go? Will he go out of this chicane? Will he go right to the line? We'll have to wait and see. Hasn't gone quite yet. Yeah, he's gone now. So he's gone out of the last corner. And he's got a nice gap on Jay's. This has hurt Prezzo as we've had an incident at the back. We've had Grimmy and Extinct. Oh no. 2 boys that have had issues first half of this race are now back of the pack. So hopefully both of them have damage, but they were in contention, especially with this safety car restart, but that's gone downhill for the 2 boys. As we have a look, Jedley managed to perfect that restart. Prezzo definitely thought about a move on Jay's, but not quite close enough, but he's right on the back. But this only helps Jedley, and he's gotten a little bit of a move on, so Jay's hasn't got a lot of pace on this restart, so he's got to be a little bit careful. He wants to stay within the DRS of Jedley before DRS gets activated at the end of the very next lap.
The driver I'd say this actually helped the most is Combat Wombat. On those mediums, he now has 2 less cars he's actually got to overtake in front of him if he's managed to keep his wing clean there in that crash. But yeah, Jedley looking like he's got some good pace ahead of him right now. He's just trying to break that 1 second margin there is. Right now it's flickering between the 9/10 to 1.1 second mark. Giles has a big job in front of him here to hang on.
Yeah, and I'm noticing as well that Jays is actually having to burn ERS more so to keep within Jedley's
Oh, and
position.
Jeff spun, I think.
Yeah, unfortunate for Jeff. He was looking a good top 10 spot, but yeah, unfortunately he's lost ground as well. But as we have a look, the 2 Mercedes boys on the soft tyres, they've got really nice pace, 12th and 13th. However, they've got to take those tyres to the end. So I don't see 11 laps. It's going to be definitely tight for the boys. We'll see how they go as we go back up to Jay's. Just managing to hold on, but he's having to burn. So
top 4 all separated by pretty much the same margin. Trying to hang on to one another. Jedley really pulling these guys along as much as he can. And then in the back you see Combat pretty close to Banana as well. He might try to get a move done here into the hairpin. He doesn't.
Yeah, and as we saw at the start, we saw a bit of a DRS train, but Jedley's putting his foot down, which is spreading out the top 5. So you can definitely tell that Jedley was more than happy just to sit behind earlier on, but he's happy to put the pace down. And Matty, he's out of that 1 second zone now, as Jays does set the fastest lap, but he's having to burn to do that. As we've got is that the Beast and Jeff. So I think we've got another incident between these 2. So DeBeast and my name is Jeff. They just hasn't been the race that they wanted. We go back to Prezzo. He's now out of the second. So Jedley really pushing the pace up.
Wombat getting moved done around the outside of turn 4. Does he get done now as the inside into turn 5 on those mediums? And Banana goes very deep trying to hang his position around the outside, but Combat manages to get a great move there around the outside of turn 4 and giving himself the inside in turn 5. That's very classy driving from the Alfa Romeo driver. Now has his eyes on Stobby and then the DRS train ahead of him.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this is sort of worked out. So these top 5, if these spread out enough, and they lose DRS from each other, this will help Combat a little bit more with trying to get past these guys. Or as Stobby has a little bit of a moment through 12, So yeah, he's struggling with the hards at the moment. Combat. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a very possibly a late move down.
He didn't get the best run out of the final corner then. He does obviously have Darius, but not much battery behind him as well compared to like the Stobby and the guys in front.
Yeah, Stobby's got 20% more ARS, which he was able to sort of, I'd say he sort of burn, but he had enough of a gap where he didn't have to hold it. So Combat's just got to get back into a rhythm and slowly catch Stobby. He's definitely within DRS. Banana also just sitting beside as Grimmy. He's retired. Where is that actually? I can't even see on the mini map. Maybe that's pits, perhaps. That's alright. We'll go back to Prezzo. Prezzo, whether he made a mistake or just not quite got the pace, but Matty right on the back of Prezzo. Matty wanting to get this podium.
Stobby knows that if he can get Darius to these guys in front, he's going to have a lot of pressure off his shoulders of Wombat behind him. But he has to get in that 1 second mark. It's crucial for the Williams driver to get there. Otherwise, Wombat's going to be very prone to trying to get that move done on him. As we see, a mistake from Matty, a rare mistake. We haven't seen that all race from the AlphaTauri driver. He's gone wide onto the gravel and he's dropped off the back of Prezzo now. 2 seconds separating Stobby and Prezzo. Setting Wombat up for a run down into turn 1 here as well now. Both of them using the battery. Wombat on the mediums. Got to be a drag race all the way to then. Wombat's got no battery left, but he does have the inside. He does get the move done. It looks like Matty kind of just let that through. I'm hoping that Wombat can maybe now push up to Stobby. So combat Wombat on for a P4 potentially. If Stobby can't catch the Darius Prezzo now.
Yeah, I was about to say this is for Matty's first race of the season, so it was going to possibly come out really nicely, but unfortunately just that little mistake, and both Stobby and Combat's been let through. So Combat, if he can close back in on Stobby, which he has, if he can get that move done quick enough, he can try and chase after Prezzo, but that's really helped Prezzo with the pressure that he was going to be facing. So he'll be able to find his rhythm again, but we'll Combat just a little bit of a twitch coming out of turn 10 as we'll follow him through the tight sector 3 chicanes. Needs to focus on getting a nice exit out of here. Wasn't too bad, but Stobby's getting a better exit through here, which is saving him a little bit. He's burning a little bit, but just that gap that he can pull out of that last sector is just helping him quite a lot. And we've got yellows. That's
Extinct again.
Yeah, the Haas. So
He's
extinct.
coming in the pit lane. I think he might call it a day here. Save the car. It's been a what started out to be a great debut performance. He had that spin and it kind of put him in the back foot since then. Hopefully back next week because he showed some great pace with the top guys here.
Yeah, exactly. He showed really nice pace and first race in, so look forward to seeing what he can do for the rest of the season with if he can get another reserve spot, but he's actually not out of it. He's actually put on a set of softs.
He's still going.
So, which is really nice to see. Yeah, if you can get the
brilliant.
fastest lap, can get the extra point, and with his pace on those set of softs, very possible that he could nab fastest lap.
As Jedley's up the front here, his gap's pulled to about a second. This could be it for Jice if he doesn't get it here. Yes. We'll see if he gets Darius. It was close across the detection line. He does still keep it, but Jedley's pace looks pretty much unmatched at the moment. Darius really helping Jays here.
Combat getting a lot better exit through there, but he just can't get through there. Stobby just burning a little bit of ARS. Combat definitely better through the rest of the track, but he just can't get the exit out of that last corner, or if he does, Stobby gets a better one, and he's with that little bit more ARS, he's just able to burn it. So Stobby just maybe running a little bit lower downforce, but it's helped him. As I say that, we do have those clouds coming back in. So that chance chance of rain that the guys were saying towards the end, this might make it a very interesting last 2 laps, possibly this rain does come quickly enough.
Yeah, we had a lot of sun in the middle of the race and obviously cloudy start, but it's come back now and it could be a massive talking point towards the end of the race, making it very slippery for these guys on dry tyres. But Wombat once again into the final sector now. He's close. He's really got to focus on a good run out this final chicane. Last probably 3 or 4 laps, he's really compromised himself and just hasn't given himself the chance to get moved up. But it doesn't look like Sobby got the best entry onto the chicane there, and he's a lot closer this time than he has been. Sobby's still pulling away with a bit of battery, and I don't think Wombat's going to get the move done. He's going to sit back for another lap.
But he has to watch for Matty right behind. Matty got a better exit through that last corner, so Matty definitely looking to try and capitalise and get those couple of spots back that he lost. So this battle's just staying where it is. Jays has clawed back within that second, and they both set their fastest laps on that last lap. So they're both pushing. They need to push. So these two will not let up, and that sort of just left Prezzo on his own. But I think he'll be fairly comfortable just to sit and grab another podium. He's got a massive lead in this championship, so he doesn't have to do anything too reckless.
Combat maybe? No, in the background it looked like it. But yeah, Prezzo, he could be going to the stewards as well after this. Keep in mind with that incident with Grimmy. The gap's only 3 seconds, and you'd assume if he was to get a penalty for it, it'd probably be a 5-second penalty. It depends what the stewards view of it. But yeah,
Combat pushing Stobby right through that last corner, but that's hurt him through there. So he's not going to get the run through there, but just watch Banana. Banana closing the gap. Can he think about a move? He's got plenty of ARS. Doesn't make the move done, so he'll be back. As we watch Combat now, just maybe those medium tyres just slowly starting to fade off now. Alright, you're back in?
Yep, back in.
Beautiful.
Don't know what happened there, keep going.
All good, so status quo. But Stobby's now sort of just leading this train all the way back to Little General and P10, so anything can sort of happen in this big pack. Definitely a lot of points up for grabs. So with this battle pack, you may think, or you're now starting to think that this top 3 is now sorted. As the leader comes across the line to start lap 31, so sort of hit the mark that we won't see another safety car again in this race. So we'll pretty much be green flag to the end. But what can Combat do now? They probably got about an even exit out of that last corner. Stobby doing all he can to hold on, and that's all he needs to do.
Combat could be saving a little bit here as well. You can see his battery has gone up a bit since a couple laps ago, up to about 30% now, and he could be saving for the final lap. I'm not sure what Stobby's on. Stobby on a bit lower now as well. He's been trying to defend for quite a while now.
Hang on, I've got raindrops. So this race has got another twist in it. Will it become wet enough? So you feel like a lot of these guys will stay out, but we have raindrops, so this will make these track conditions very slippery, especially with a lot of these guys having very old hard or medium tyres.
Or soft, for that matter, as well, the guys at the back.
Well, Extinct Body's probably the best person on his set of soft tyres with only 4 laps on him. But now it's going to be super treacherous as... Oh, Entei has had a little bit of a moment. He's now down the back of that field, so maybe him and Bonton maybe had a bit of a coming together at turn 10. So are these guys starting to feel these conditions already? As Combat's got a very nice run through the last corner. He's now burning all that ARS with DRS. What can he do? Stobby, just that little bit lower downforce. Combat can't do anything.
Yeah, just got to turn off battery there as well, even though he's seen Stobby with a flashing light. So I would have thought it'd be probably the best opportunity there for Wombat to get that move done, but he might wait until the next time, the final time we head on to that DRS straight. It's going to be interesting. He doesn't have much batch behind him, and the conditions obviously wetter than ever now.
Yeah, some of these guys switching to inters. We've got just over a lap to go. You wouldn't see a lot of these guys pit last lap, but Combat's definitely liking these conditions a little bit more with his medium tyres. So I'll be struggling a little bit, but he's got that low downforce down the main straight to sort of hold Combat at bay. And not much to do. Jedley, he's been able to increase his margin to 1.3, so he just needs to keep it on track. Super treacherous conditions these are. Just need to keep it on track and not ride any of the curbs. I think Clarence and Junkyard gone on to the inters just to hope and pray. Entei fallen down. General's got past him. Oh, as Combat's hit the wall coming out of the last corner. So he must have gone for a bit of a move on Stobby, but it hasn't worked out and he's into the wall. So super unfortunate from him.
So close. Yeah, it takes a massive pressure off Stobby's shoulders now, and you'd think he can probably hold on to P4.
DRS is disabled. So we'll have no DRS, which means it's wet enough for inters. So these guys, can they hold on, keep it on track? Matty got a lot of pace on Stobby. Stobby's really struggling in these conditions. Or can he get the run? Not quite. But yeah, super unlucky for Combat. Top 5. Probably looking for a move, and then yeah, just the slippery conditions. He just caught him out. I just flicked away, unfortunately, at the wrong time and just missed it. Yellow flag, extinct, I think, gone at the last corner. Can't make the move done. We'll quickly flick to our leader, Jedley. Got P2 in quali. Was sitting behind Jays for that first half. Did the overcut and has pretty much not looked headed. So Jedley will come across the line. He'll win round 5 at Spain. Giles comes across the line second. Prezzo third. Stobby, under all the pressure that he's had, he'll come across the line P4. Matty had that penalty, so Banana, he crosses the line. So Williams, 4th and 5th, very nice job. Bompton up to P6. Matty drops down to 7th. Entei recovers to 8th. Little Journal 9th. And Grimmy 10th. Snickers Butter comes across the line 11th. Goodwill managed to get those softs at the home at the end. Comes across the line. He'll get 12th. To Beast, really unfortunate for him. Early issues for him, so he'll come across the line 13th. So a bit of a struggle for Ferrari, but they haven't done too bad to recover and have got some points. Clarence, if he had a few more laps, possibly on those inters, he could think maybe moving up positions, but he'll come across 14th. And then the two Haas's, extinct body. Really nice drive on his first race out, just that spin. Those couple of spins that he's had sort of took him out, and then that restart spin, maybe contact with Grimmy or another car, but he'll come across the line 15th. And I think Extinct did get that fastest lap, if I remember, so he will get at least a point.
Yeah, Extinct definitely able to keep his head up high there after that performance. Not the result he wanted, but showed what he's got, and Stobby as driver of the day, I completely agree with that. Made tons of positions in the first opening laps, and yeah, again, a mature drive with his teammate, but yeah, Jedley, our main man, finally got top of the podium.
Yeah, super sub as we like to call him, race every race, got 2/3, but yeah, this now makes it a feature race win for him. So currently second in the championship. He'll close the gap to Prezzo. You never know what can happen in this championship, but yeah, I reckon if there's a full-time seat that opens up, he'll definitely be the first candidate. But as we have a look at the results, Jedley, fantastic drive from him. Jays, we thought he might have been just holding his own first half of the race, but yeah, Jedley just had a bit too much pace. Prezzo, again, not the win, so we do have a different winner, but he's on the podium again, and that doesn't do any harm to his championship points. Stobby moved up 10 positions, so Stobby, very nice job. Same as Banana, two Wounds boys, really nice job. Bompton moved up a lot of positions. Batty, unfortunate with that incident behind Prezzo. Could he possibly taken third with that? Entei, P8, nice recovery from him. Little General and Grimmy rounds out your top 10. Grimmy having that issue on the restart, so unfortunate for him. He did look quick in quali, but yeah, it didn't quite work out for him in the race. And then you got Snickers Bud, Goodwill, DeBeast, Clarence, Junkyard Dog, and Extinct Body. They ran out your finishes, and then your non-finishers Combat with that little bit of a loss coming through that final corner on the second last lap. Unfortunate for him, looking for a top 5, and then you fully retires. Jeff, Orphan Drop, and Deputy is your final retirement. So, get the results there. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Jedley, once he got in front, just sort of managed just to hold on and didn't really look that troubled.
Yeah, it was a composed start to the race by pretty much most of the top 5 there, but we always knew that that was going to change around that pit stop window, and then especially after the safety car, yeah, everyone got their elbows out a little bit, and yeah, it was good to see some exciting racing once again here at Spain.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, only that little bit of rain that last lap, yeah, probably just caught out probably the one person we thought might have just taken advantage of it. But not sure what happened, whether that was sort of an issue with maybe contact with Stobby, or if Combat just sort of lost it on his own, just trying to get that exit. We just saw him just not being able to nail that exit, and the one time he did, Stobby was just able to breeze down. But what we'll do, we'll take a quick minute, we'll get the drivers in for the interviews, and then we'll be back. Alright, we are back with the top 3. We'll start with Prezzo. Prezzo, normally P1, but I think after that race, your winning streak was going to have to end eventually, but I think you'll still take P3. But yeah, top 2 probably had a bit more pace than you did, but how was your race from your point of view?
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward after the first pit stop. I mean, that first stint with everyone all bunched up was some of the most fun I've had racing on this game, because it's so much fun when you're able to actually follow and race instead of, well, for Route 10-3 on the old game, you'd just catch a big handful of aero wash and you couldn't follow. So it was actually nice to be able to race with people. But yeah, Jedley and Jace just way too quick today. But hats off to him, especially Jedley. Like, well done, mate. You were like bloody quick, and
Yeah,
you
thanks,
normally
mate.
are.
Yeah, it was good to finally get one off you.
Yeah, there'll be many more that you get off me. I'm darn sure of that. But yeah,
I
just
don't think so.
race was pretty straightforward in most senses. Just trying to keep the car pointing in a straight line. I didn't have the pace to run with the top two, so I just held on to what I had. No need to push and try to get more when it's just going to end up in the fence probably.
Yeah, exactly. And we did see Matty towards the end of that race sort of having a bit of a go at you, but then he had his little mistake that sort of let you have a bit of breathing room. Pretty sure you were glad to sort of see him off you. That way you could just get around that final couple of laps, especially when we did see the raindrops starting and then we did have the DRS deactivated that last lap.
Oh yeah. When the rain came out, it was just like, just hold on to it. Don't do anything dumb. Like, don't be a hero here. So, yeah, that rain is always interesting, because I saw in the forecast that it was the last segment was going to be wet, and it's just like, okay, how wet we talking, and like how early is the rain going to come? But yeah, thankfully with 4 to go, it hit, so not too bad. Because if it hit, I think it would have been a bit of chaos.
Oh yeah, we thought
properly hit.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a little bit of chaos. Combat sort of the only one that got affected by that, but yeah, you managed to hold on. Do you have anything for our third place getter, 40?
Just on the quick note of that incident you had with Grimmy there, we saw contact with you guys between turn 1 and turn 2.
Yep.
What did you make of that?
I left him space. There was contact wheel to wheel. He spun.
Yeah,
so there is
him on your side pod, was it?
It was wheel to wheel, front right to front left.
I understand. Yep.
So I held it around the outside, and so I could tuck it in for turn 2. And well, he's obviously trying to get as close as possible because you want to optimize your line through turn 2. We touched. He spun. It was just shit happens. Well, that's how I saw it. Like, obviously, he may see it very differently, but yeah, I left him space, and
no, exactly right. No, that's it. I was just interested to get your opinion on that one. And secondly, just another question regarding that first stint. We saw you guys all in a train of 5 there. Was there any ideas for you to go for an undercut or a longer overcut to try and break the top 2 potentially?
Nah, not really. I wasn't trying anything fancy. It was just holding on to what I had. Those 2 were ultimately quicker than me to begin with, and throughout the first stint, I was just only able to hold on because of DRS and net battling. So, yeah, I don't do anything too fancy, just get on with it.
Yeah, no, playing it smart, understand. No, it's again a good result for you here, P3, still on the podium, yet to come off it. So, see if you can continue this good form to next week at Singapore.
Oh God, no. Matt, why do we have to race there? Can we just get that track off the calendar, please?
Real life calendar, we line up with it. But yeah, congratulations once again, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, cheers, mate. And once again, well done, boys. Brilliant commentary as always.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, man. All right, well, we'll go to our first place getter. We call him the super sub because any team that he drives for, he gets a really good result, and this time he gets the top step, our first winner other than Prezzo. So,
really?
Jedley, yes, Prezzo's dominated except for the sprint in Miami, but yeah, you're the first feature race winner that does get all the points. So, congratulations, and how was the race from your point of view?
Yeah, it feels really good to get that top spot. I was hanging on for dear life at the end then. I'm horrible in the wet, so I was, I had a very tight butthole at the end then. I was clenching. But yeah, luckily got through it.
Yeah, exactly. Were you sort of just sitting behind Jays at the start and sort of just following him through, because we know that you were just saving a fair bit of BRS? Were you just sort of happy just to sit behind him? And then we sort of saw towards the end of that stint, you sort of thought about a move, but then you went for the 2-lap long overcut, which did actually work.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, I know Giles has got a lot of pace, so I was pretty happy just to sit in the DRS and have him drag me along and save my ERS. And then yeah, I knew that would make a gap between, you know, probably the top 3 or 4 and the rest of the field. And then once we were coming up to the pit window, I did try and get in front of him, but yeah, no, I just didn't have the pace on the straight line. But it's all good. I was happy on the medium, so yeah, that's why I decided to go another 2 laps, because I still felt like I was putting in decent lap times.
Yeah. No, it worked well, and then on the hards, managed to hold off Jay. Sort of gapped him in the end a little bit. But yeah, Foord. Any questions for our race winner?
No, I think you answered my main question there about your strategy call, but I guess I can ask you another one about again next week at Singapore. We heard Prezzo's reaction to it. What are your thoughts on it? Are you confident for it, or will you be there? Is my other question as well.
Will I be there? I think I will. Yeah, pretty sure I will. Singapore, to be honest, I don't really have too many thoughts about it. I haven't done a whole heap of Singapore. Considering it's a straight track, I'm predicting a DNF lap 7.
Lap 7, he's calling it early. Nice. Hopefully we see you around longer than that, for sure. You showed your experience here tonight with that strategy call, and especially managing that safety car race start was really well done. So, I think you definitely had the pace tonight. It was either going to be you or Jay's, but you seem to, pretty much have the strategy behind you, which got you over the line in the end. So, congratulations on, a good win here tonight.
Yeah, cheers guys. Thanks for doing the comms.
Thank you.
Thank you. 40. Well, that was one hell of a race. Lots of battle packs throughout. There was a bit of spicy at the end with the rain. Singapore. I know some of these drivers may not like it, but might be in for a bit of a treat. Definitely one of the longest races. Could go up to an hour, especially if we get a couple of safety cars mixed in, and weather can be an issue around Singapore. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next week.
Yes, as you said, long race. It's going to be tough for the drivers. Again, thankfully they're lucky they don't have to feel the heat in real life, but I'm sure they'll be feeling the heat in their room. We're moving into summer now in Australia, so maybe they might feel a bit of Aussie heat instead. So that'd be interesting to see how they go around the streets of Singapore. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it once again. See how the likes of Jedley go. See if we can come back with a good result maybe. And yeah, if Giles can get his first win here in the series.
Yeah, exactly. Deadly has closed the gap to Prezzo, so it's about 50 points now. Anything's possible, especially if he can keep getting these reserve seats. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But
only a third of the way through, so long way to go still.
Yeah, exactly. So, but thank you again for joining me tonight, 40. Definitely an enjoyable race, and thank you everybody else for watching, and we'll see you next Sunday night at Singapore. All right, thanks guys. See ya.